Hey everybody, welcome back to Harmon Garage. I'm Aaron, and this video was supposed to be the last video on Longstep. All we had left to do was finish up the spark plug wires, put the dash in, fill it with gas, run it, tune it, clean up some wires. It's gonna be done. It didn't work out that way. So I got the spark plug wires all done, and I'm changing the plugs because it had the wrong style plugs in it. And this plug right here, I can't get a socket on from the top or the bottom because this header tube's in the way. That's not the problem. That's not a big deal. But when I found out I couldn't get on that spark plug from up top, I went down underneath to see if I could get it from down there, which I can't really get it from down there either, but I'm gonna make a tool and we'll be able to get that done. While I was down there, I looked over and there was a puddle about that big around on the floor. And this concrete's really porous, so usually if something drips or something, it dries up really fast. So I'm like, that's pretty wet, that's weird, where's it coming from? So I grabbed a flashlight, start looking around, and there's coolant dripping out of the vents in the torque converter dust cover. You can actually probably see the puddle there on the ground, which means the only place coolant could come from back there. I checked, it's not coming out of the back of the intake, it's not running out of the back of the heads, it's not running down the side of the block or nothing. It's definitely coming out of the back of the block. And the only place that could be leaking coolant on the back of the block is freeze plugs, or the block is cracked. But regardless, I'm gonna have to pull the transmission out to find out what it is. So I gotta dress up the spark plug wires, change that last plug, and then other than that, I got I've been telling you guys in the other videos that I've been dreading cutting gauge bezel. I finally got it cut. It fits perfect. I just got to put it in and plug it in and put gas in the dang thing, and it's ready to start. But now I got to pull the drive shaft, tranny cross member, transmission, torque converter, flex plate, all that stuff, and find out where it's leaking. So I may get something done in this video. We may finish this truck up, and I may open up a whole new can of worms and we won't get it done. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull the transmission out, and I'll catch up with you guys when I get it out and we see what it is. All right, well, we're still dealing with this coolant leak problem. Luckily, I didn't pull the transmission all the way out. I got started on it, and I don't know why, but for some reason I stopped and started cleaning stuff up and looking around, and the coolant leak isn't coming from the back of the block. It's actually coming from the side of the block and running back, and it just happened to be running into that torque converter dust shield thing. And it's wet around one of the block drain plugs down at the bottom, but it's wet up above there also. But it's not wet at the head mating surface, and there's nothing in between the head mating surface and that drain plug, and everything else around there is dry. So I'm gonna try to tighten that drain plug up if I can, and see what happens with that. But that's just a little update. I got to get that coolant leak fixed before I can go any further with anything else. So I'm just toying around with that, and we'll update you some more and I get somewhere else with it. All right, I'm back. So I got the coolant leak all taken care of, figured out, and it's all good to go. We got spark plug wires done, completely made, divided, routed. I'm gonna tie them up a little bit more once I got the timing set exactly where it needs to be. But for right now, they're done. Both sides. This side will need to be prettied up a little bit too. And I mentioned to you guys that I had finally gotten a gauge cluster cut. It is now fully installed. all the trim pieces, everything. We got our controller for our Holly Sniper installed. Looks clean. So it's coming along. Haven't been filming a lot, but I just only had 3 things left to do this truck. I just want to get them done and then start it and be done. So if you look at my list here, the only thing that's left on there is dress out wiring, install interior. Can we cross off install interior? No. One more piece. So this is the steering wheel that was chosen for the truck. It's apparent we don't have a steering wheel in here. I got to put our turn signal lever in. I got to put our hazard button in. And I got to install our horn. After that interior's checked off, we can start it. And then dress up the wiring. And that'll be all, folks. But I'm going to hurry up and get that steering wheel on. Probably go run and get some gas for this thing because I haven't even done that yet. And then I'll get back with you. Okay. I wanted to make sure you guys saw this. Granted, I know we still got cleanup wiring on there, but man, that felt good. It's been a long time coming. So here we go. Got our steering wheel installed. Got our turn signal lever, our tilt lever, shifter, our little button for the hazards. The interior is 100% done. Check. So I've got the battery hooked up. So I just want to start testing a couple things and see if they work. First thing we're going to do. Okay, that's good. I checked the wipers before I put the wiper arms on because I wanted to make sure they were in the right park position. So we know those are good. So we're going to turn on our headlights. Got marker light, headlight, marker light, headlight, marker light, marker light, tail light, marker light. All right, that looks good. Check our high beams real quick. I guess that actually was the high beams. Low beams work too. And turn those off, turn our key on. Oh, there goes the wipers. Wow. I haven't seen that yet. That lit right up, that's pretty cool. Battery gauge is working. No temp, no oil pressure, which makes sense because it ain't running. Sniper fired right off, so. Got our turn signal indicator on the dash. Got our left turn signal up here. I can already see it, but we got our left turn signal back here. Got our right turn signal indicator on the dash. Got our right turn signal, right turn signal. Right turn signal. Wipers work. They just came on when I turned the key on because I bumped the switch putting the dash in and didn't realize it. So they're still working. Not sure how this radio functions, but well, turns on. That's what I needed to know. fan's working on our vintage air. So just gonna assume it's wired right until we can check it out later. But man, that dash looks cool. There's a bunch of different functions and stuff that you can program into it and do and all that stuff. But it's in the instructions. But for me, I just gonna leave it the way it is. I think it looks cool. And as far as the wiring goes, other than cranking it and making sure the fans come on, it all works. I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna call it a day today because I gotta run and get gas and do a couple other things for the truck. So, but I'm done other than starting it. So I'm gonna run and get some gas, stuff like that, get a good night's sleep. I'll see you guys in about a half a second. For me, it'll be tomorrow morning, but this truck will start now. All right, everybody, we're back at it. And today's the day. This old truck, new old truck, whatever, is gonna start. So I went ahead and put the initial program into the Sniper handheld controller. If you're interested in knowing how to do that, I installed a Sniper on a 49 Chevy in a video a year ago. So I go through step by step how to put that initial stuff into that handheld controller. It's all done. As soon as you hit input tune or whatever it is, turn the key on, you should hear the fuel pump come on, cycle for 5 to 10 seconds, and then it shuts off, and then you know that your tune's put in, because before that you can turn the key on and off as many times as you want and it won't turn your fuel pump on. So I did that. I cycled my key, my fuel pump comes on. I tied up a bunch of little loose ends. I'm checking everything over, make sure my timing is close, and then I'm gonna set the camera up. We're gonna hit the key and we're gonna see if this thing barks to life. So I'm gonna check a few more things out, set the other camera up, and then we're gonna see what happens. Alrighty, my dad just swung over. He's gonna give me a hand cranking it and stuff so I can watch. I haven't tried cranking it yet. This is gonna be the first time, so we'll hit the key and see what happens.
How much you want me to crank it?
Let's go. I'll tell you when to stop. Wait until you see down in the ashtray there's that little display. Wait until that lights up.
It's on.
Okay, go ahead. Turn the key off, turn it back on. Make sure we're getting fuel up there. Is it loaded? Go ahead and hit it again. Alright. It may just be the timing's not close enough to start it, but first thing I'm going to do real quick is just take a spark plug wire off, have him crank it, make sure we got spark, make sure everything's right there.
You put that other wire on over on the other side yesterday?
Which one?
You took one, there was one on.
Yeah. Okay, let that thing load and then crank it just for a couple seconds.
You ready?
Yep. Hit it again. Alright, we got spark. So it's either just taking a minute to get gas up to it, or the timing's off far enough that it won't crank. So I'm going to try cranking it one more time and see if it's just because of fuel. And then if it still won't crank, then we'll adjust the timing a little bit. Go ahead. Oh, it's got fuel now.
Ready?
Yep. I'll do that again. Okay, timing's definitely off. We're gonna adjust that. I'll be right back. Alright, I think I got it sorted out. Now that I know we have spark and we have fuel, if it starts, I'm only gonna let it run long enough to make sure it has good oil pressure. And then I'm gonna shut it back off because it doesn't have an exhaust or nothing on it, and I don't want it to start tuning with without the exhaust on it, because it'll make it run. It'll screw up the tuner and it'll have to retune once you get the exhaust on. So I'm not going to run it for a long time. I just want to make sure it starts and runs, because once I know it runs and the timing's close and I get the wiring loomed up, he's going to take it to the exhaust shop and get the exhaust put on, and then we'll probably end up fine tuning everything after that. But I just don't want to let it run for a long time. I want to fire it up, make sure it's got oil pressure, and then we'll shut it back off. So here we go. Hit it again. Hit it again. How much?
70.
Okay, good. Alright, so there it is. Longstep runs. Greatest day of my life. Got my dad checked. We got 70 pounds of oil pressure. There's still a little bit of tuning you have to do with the throttle body and stuff to make it idle. That's why I was holding it up a little bit, but I need to check the timing, make sure it's in. I need to adjust the idle so it idles where we want it to after it warms up. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that kind of stuff. I'll come back, let you guys know how it goes. And Longstep runs. Can't believe it. 8 months in the works, but she's there. That's it. Longstep runs. Everything is done except putting some loom on the wires. I can finish that up in about an hour. And that's it. It can go home. We can get started on something else. I'm excited. I'm happy. And I would say I hate to see it go. I mean, I'm gonna miss it, but I'm about tired of working on it. So it's a love-hate deal, but I'm glad it's done. I'm glad it's gonna go. So that's gonna do it for this video. If you're not subscribed, please do that. I wanna try to get that boosted up. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of the truck. Just having a good day today. I hope you all are too. It's gonna do it for this video. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you next time.